I was talking about impulsivity and relationships. There's a way you relate with your boss. Even concerning your workers, you don't just go and smack the bottom of a young girl working for you. There's a way you talk to a married woman that is working for you. There's a way you relate with them. You don't just follow your sexual advances, your sexual impulses to relate with women. It requires self-restraint. Self-restraint is very important in excelling in life. Any person you see that has done well in life shows self-restraint. I want to look at, okay, I'm still talking about impulsivity and relationships. I see people on Facebook. You will just make stupid comments that you have not analyzed, that you have not thought about. I see people come to my page and make nonsensical statements. Somebody said that Dangote was from a poor family when I was talking about the ghetto millionaire. I have read a book, a thick book on Dangote from beginning to the end. His grandfather was Pa Al Hassan Dantata. His father was a member of parliament. And then you just come from nowhere, you don't know anything about Aliko Dangote. You say Dangote is a poor person. He just displayed his ignorance. So when you see people comment on Facebook, you can know their level of intellectual development. Some of them just become unnecessarily aggressive and abusive. You saw the incidents in Oka during the swearing-in ceremony of Soludo. I saw the wife of Obiano saunter like a peacock to go and meet Odumego Ojuku's wife, Bianca. Bianca Ono lived in the government house before her. Her father was governor. Bianca Ono's father was able to remove Jimbo Bodo from office. Not to talk about Odumego Ojukwu himself, who was governor of the Eastern region, the son of one of the richest men in Nigeria. As at that time, it was Dantata, Odumego Ojukwu, Faja Miroku, and Okotiebo in the Midwest. You just sauntered there. You, a former secretary to your husband, you just sauntered there to go and meet somebody that the Igbos revere. And then started talking rubbish to her. And you even came late to the ceremony. And the woman slapped her. I don't advocate for violence, but sometimes people should be very careful and not treat people shabbily. You might get a repercussion that you don't deserve. And so she could have moderated her excesses. She should have thought very well before going to go and meet Bianca Ono. And so these are some of the things. When you relate with people, you're very careful. If they give you money, you don't just impulsively spend the money. You must be very careful. When you relate with your parents, you don't behave impulsively. You go to your mother-in-law's place, there is a way you behave. You don't go to your boss's house or somebody, your mentor's house. You remove your shirt, remove your shoes, put your legs on top of the table, go to the refrigerator, open the refrigerator, take a drink. You are behaving with an entitlement mentality. You don't go behind your boss to make demands on his friends. You has lost confidence in you. There are some young girls who have come to my page. They are meeting me for the first time. I don't even know you from Eve. The first thing you do is to ask for help, demand for something. No, I don't have any relationship with you. You must not just place a demand on me. It's unfair. And so if you must cultivate relationships, you must show restraint. When I was men's fellowship leader in my branch church, then before I became men's fellowship leader for Church of God Mission in Imo and Abia states, there was a young man that came, a man, he came. And he came to the men's fellowship for the first time. I gave him a Bible. He got born again. I was importing cars. I impulsively thought that I should go to his house, let him loan me some money to join to clear my vehicles. But I got there, and the Lord rebuked me that if this man, I go there to demand for money from him, and he gives me money, I will lose respect in his sight. I had gotten there with Bishop Abraham Mensa, but I restrained myself and I did not ask for. We want to look at impulsivity and drug abuse. We found out from research here that most people who go into drug abuse and substance abuse are impulsive. It is the impulsivity that make them go into drug abuse. They want to just test, they want to try, they want to see how it is. But I also found that from one of my drivers, when we were driving, he would just be on it, papa, papa, pim, 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 pim. And I asked him, did you drive Worry Worry before? He said yes. Worry Worry is our transport company system that leaves Ughelli to Worry. And the horning that they horn for passengers, with his eyes going to and fro, was part of his trade. Then I asked him, did you smoke Indian hemp before? He said yes. So that's most people who have smoked cannabis sativa, even when they stop, they still behave irrationally. They still behave impulsively. I will look at impulsivity and fashion. You don't just buy things. You don't just wear things. You don't just draw things on your body. You don't just pierce your nostrils. I saw one young short girl, black. She pierced her nostrils 2 places and put another one. I asked her, do these things make you breathe better? She said, people they wear and I make her wear them. That's others are wearing. That's what I'm wearing. Recently I saw her. She put one big bonnet on her head and she was going like I don't want to use a very bad language on her. The thing did not fit her at all. But because people are plaiting long hair and wearing one stuff on top of it that looks like the back of a tortoise, you just chose to follow. She's doing it because she's just seeing people. You see a lady wear chain on her ankle. Do you know why people are wearing chains in their ankles? You just follow. So a lot of fashion that people copy and expenditures they make on fashion, they don't premeditate, they just do impulsively. If you look at my young men today, they will just wear funny hairstyles, very funny hairstyles. And it is such that nearly every young man who is into internet fraud wears this funny hairstyle. Does that funny hairstyle contribute to your success in internet fraud, even though I don't encourage that? Must you impulsively dress? Must you impulsively listen to follow a trend? I went to a Catholic school. They were doing their graduation ceremony, and I saw the girls come out to dance. You know what they were dancing? Soapy. You know the meaning of soapy? It's masturbation. They were dancing soapy after Naira Marley in a Catholic school. The sister in charge does not know what soapy is. The teachers don't know what soapy is. The girls even dancing might not know what soapy is. But they were demonstrating the masturbation of a male genital organ. Impulsivity. I want to look at impulsivity and the fetal alcohol syndrome. Impulsivity and the fetal alcohol syndrome. There is the fetal alcohol syndrome disorder. Alcohol crosses the placental barrier. It is one of the few things that diffuses through the placental barrier. So when a mother consumes alcohol when the child is in utero, the fetus gets drunk in utero. They found out that children born to parents, to mothers who consumed alcohol when they were young, behave impulsively. And I know a community in Africa where people drink alcohol a lot. And I found out that children are usually restless in such communities. Restless in church, restless in society, have a society that is known for restlessness and impulsive behavior. Fetal alcohol syndrome. Then I want to look at impulsivity and attention disorder stroke hyperactivity disorder or autism. They found out that in a spectrum of autism, even among adults, it leads to impulsive behavior. You see an adult just behaving impulsively. When you have an impulsive behavior, you would take decisions, make promises that you cannot keep. I want to look at impulsivity and religion. Even if you are a prophet and the Spirit of God ministers to you, impulsivity should not make you just blot things out. I went to a church and the prophet was telling a young girl that the mother was a witch. And I called him aside. I said, one day they will come and beat you. The children of such a woman will come and beat you. The spirit of the prophet is under the control of the prophet. That you are ministering anointing to people doesn't mean you should push them down. Doesn't mean you should lie down on top of women. Doesn't mean you should behave like a clown. I am very radical, I'm very militant, but I try as much as possible to be under the control of the Holy Spirit and to show discretion. Discretion is one of the 7 pillars of wisdom. The excesses in Pentecostalism are as a result of impulsive behavior. We just do things impulsively. The moderation, the decency, the orderliness that was what we saw in the Anglican churches, Methodist churches, Baptist, Presbyterian churches are very, very absent in Pentecostalism. They will say that in the presence of the Lord there is liberty. No, liberty is not excessive freedom and rascality and insanity. Liberty, when you have calcium carbonate and you pour hydrochloric acid on it, the liberation of the carbon dioxide from it is liberty. So when the presence of the Lord comes, the potential in you, trapped in you, becomes liberated, becomes exhibited. It is not the disorderliness, it is not the creation of enthalpy and entropy in the system that is liberty. We Pentecostal pastors, we need to be more careful instead of behaving impulsively. So, impulsivity and academics. If you are very impulsive, you cannot do well in academics. One of the things that troubled me when I was a young man was that I wrote very fast, I will not revise, I will submit. And I will not take time to read a subject matter very diligently. But when I got older, I found out that I needed to sit down, read, understand, write, and cross-check. That's why I was able to make 10 A's at the age of 56. I didn't pass English well because I never knew you could read English, understand basic things. You can see the defects in my speech. So, impulsivity. When you are restless, you can never excel in life. I will quickly say that impulsivity is one of the major hindrances. Some of the things people pray for, some of the things people call demons, some of the things people go to church to consult pastors for. A little discipline, a little delayed gratification, a little self-control, a little discretion will prevent the accidents, will prevent the losses, will prevent the fights at home, will prevent the divorces, will prevent the failures in life. Because they found that from the marshmallow experiment, after 40 years, those who were calmer, displayed self-restraint, displayed discretion, and waited for the reward, had better results. Can self-discipline and restraint be learned, and delayed gratification be learned? Yes. Experiments have shown that you can teach people delayed gratification, and then they will become better people. Please, after this video, watch your lifestyle. Are you acting impulsively, talking impulsively, commenting on things impulsively, with an impulsive anger, an impulsive attitude, impulsive consumption? Obesity, being fat, has been associated with impulsive eating. People just eat and eat and eat, even when you can show restraint. Please, delayed gratification and discipline and discretion. 3 Ds will take you to the 4th D, distinction. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. God bless you.